This is real. This is not just a story about romance and a young shy nun who saved the city by prayers. This is real. This really happened. These stories are true.
Welcome to the Stories Cafe podcast, the espresso version of Stories Cafe, offering quick, enriching moments of reflection on literature, cinema, archetypes, philosophy, and the art of living deliberately. Just like a perfectly crafted espresso at a Parisian cafe, each episode is a brief pause for you to submerge yourself in something invigorating and fulfilling. I'm Annette Wernblad, course creator, internationally published author, and wanderer at heart. So cozy up as we explore the powerful world of stories, how they shape our lives, and teach us the art of living deliberately. As you know, the purpose of the online cafe is to meet with people from all over the world and pretend that we're sitting together in a cafe talking about important things and catching up and diving most of all into cultural subjects across the different genres. So today what we're doing is something that is very close to my heart and something I'm very excited about. We're going to Paris.
So the story that I wanted to tell you is about Sainte Geneviève. She is the patron saint of Paris. And she was a young woman, very quiet and very shy. She came from a nice family and she was a nun. And in 451, Attila the Hun was approaching Paris and he was going to invade Paris. And everybody knew it, and he invaded everything. So the people of Paris were really, really frightened because they knew that, this would be the end of everything that they built. You have to go back again to the Romans around the birth of Christ. It started like 5 years after the birth of Christ, the founding of modern Paris. And that would be the end of everything if the Huns took over the city. So the men, or the people of Paris, wanted to flee. Just leave the city behind. Just let them take it so that we don't die. So they wanted to flee to the Bois de Boulogne, the forest outside of Paris, and hide and just wait it out and see what happened. Were they just going to plunder the city and leave again, or were they going to stay? Usually they left. But this young woman, Sainte Geneviève, it said that she was part of the city council. So in effect, she was almost like the mayor of this area of Paris. She didn't want to leave. And she was completely certain that nothing would happen, that by some miracle, the Huns would not come to Paris at all. So she urged all the women to stay behind while the men wanted to flee. She urged the women to stay with her and get down on their knees and pray and really visualize that that Attila the Hun would not come to Paris, that miraculously he would change his course and leave Paris alone. And they prayed for days and days, and there was complete chaos, and people were fleeing and people were running around, people were scared, and she just kept the calm very quietly. And they prayed, and miraculously, Attila the Hun changed his course and left Paris alone. He didn't even come close to Paris. So that's why she's the patron saint of Paris, and I love that story. Yeah. And so she's the emblem of the city, even to this day. And this area where all that happened. It's called Mount Sainte Geneviève. This is her mountain. This is where she lived and where she was. If you know the emblem of Paris, there's a ship on waves, and it says "Flug to ad nicht mehr getür," which is it does not sink. And that comes originally from the Romans, but up through Sainte Geneviève, that's the attitude, is that you can threaten us with anything, and we're going to keep coming back. And with the terrorist attacks that were in Paris, it's that same kind of attitude. There's a lot of shock for a short while, and then there's this defiance of any kind of invasion, even of the pandemic. So that's the story of Sainte Geneviève and why she's the patron saint of Paris. And if you go into Saint-Étienne-du-Mont, this beautiful, beautiful church, and this is like the real miracle. Inside you have the remains of Sainte Geneviève. And to me, the first time I went in there and I saw that coffin with her remains, to me, that's the energy of that. This is real. This is not just a story about romance and a young shy nun who saved the city by prayers. This is real. This really happened. These stories are true. They're real. So that's again one of my favorite stories.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your espresso break and learned something new. If you're eager to dive deeper into the world of stories and ideas, be sure to hit the follow button in Spotify or the plus button in Apple Podcasts so that you get each new episode straight to your podcast app. You can also visit us at Stories Cafe. Just go to stories-cafe.com. There you can explore free content for a taste of what we offer, or if you're ready for more, a paid membership unlocks in-depth discussions, full access to our archives, and a vibrant community of fellow story enthusiasts. I am so thrilled to have you here, and I look forward to welcoming you back to the Stories Cafe soon.